Let me ask you this, because one of the criticisms I've heard about feeling the arms go first and feeling, you know, as if that's, kind of as if you're dumping it, is that you can lose club face control.
Oh, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
You don't want to overdo it.
Okay.
You don't want to
So how do you control the club face when you're feeling this?
Okay. Doing this
Yeah.
is all about speeding up the right arm.
Yes.
Okay? Speeding up the right arm will make the pivot speed up. Once the pivot speeds up, you regain your club and face control, your path and face control.
I've seen that in my own practice on the range, that you overdo it like this, your impact feels great. It feels like you're hitting it good, but the control goes there. You have to start syncing it up at some point.
And here again is where people fail in getting better. My job is not to make you a better golfer. My job is, first of all, make sure you have a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
But my job is to push you in the right direction for you, and then it's your job to go make yourself a better golfer.
Yeah.
You need to figure out your own tendencies and how much of these concepts to implement. And there's only one way to do it. You come out on the range and you're like, nope, nope, yep. Yeah. And as soon as you get 20 yeps in the row, you're there.
I've noticed that because everyone watching this is definitely most likely sitting at home Googling how can I get better at golf, and they're trying to find these tips. But so there's so many tips out there, but really the only tips I've seen that really help me are things that I've come to on my own.
People say to me, they say, Monte, you were once a pretty good player. You're still really, really long. You claim to know all of this stuff about the golf swing. Why aren't you out there shooting 65s and tearing it up everywhere? Well, I can pretty much, you can hand me a golf club and I can do anything I want once.
Yeah.
Okay? I have a pretty good idea on the golf swing, at least I like to think so, but I don't practice enough to know exactly how I'm supposed to put all of these things in play. I mean, I'm a full-time father, I'm a full-time instructor. I literally have, and I'm not trying to make an excuse or anything, this point is for everybody, how they're supposed to learn. I probably only play golf once or twice a month, and I have less than 5 hours a month of practice. So, yes, I can go out there and shoot 65 sometimes, but I'm just as likely to go out and shoot 77 because I'm having to go, well, how much of this do I have to do? Like right now, my feel for what hits a good drive for me right now is I take the club back and I feel like my hands go like this.
Yeah.
And then at impact, I feel like I go like that.
So 20 years after you've been, 20 years ago, you used to swing like this.
Right.
And now 20 years later, you're still doing feels to get rid of that feeling.
To get rid of that. Those things stick with you forever. Yeah. So now, I can come out here on the range with no pressure and hit 10 balls, and 7 of them are 320 and 30-yard laces right down the middle.
Yeah.
The other 3 are kind of manageable misses, but I can't repeat this and this the exact same way every time, only practicing 3 or 4 hours a month. It is a manipulated effort for me to do it. So you put me out on the golf course on a hole that, well, to the right is a little bit shaky and left is definitely bad. I fall back into my bad habit and go like this. So I'm, again, not making an excuse for myself. You have to figure it out on your own and make it happen by itself so you don't have to think about it.
So some people might hear that and say, well, Monte, if you're saying to swing this kind of way, then, and you can't do it, all the time, why should somebody start doing that?
Great question. Because my definition of a proper intent is the same definition that the FDA has for a drug.
Okay.
And I don't remember the exact percentage, but an FDA drug on a test only has to have like a 3 or a 5% success rate for it to be approved. So yes, I cannot produce this every time, but it's a heck of a lot better than the nonsense that is comfortable for me. If I throw my intent there, I stripe it every time on the golf course. The problem is when I feel a little bit of pressure, the shot doesn't fit my eye, I revert. Yep. So the original point is the definition of a good intent is something that produces better results as you're ingraining it than just doing your same old regular move.
Subscribe to Be Better Now for more compelling golf content.